Steve is a former national professional track champion and is the author of the #1 bestseller, Stand Up, Stand Out, or Stand Aside, Client Attraction System, and Exceed. Plus, recently released Your Personal Enterprise.
He has over 20 years TV and video experience, including hosting and producing his own TV show for Channel 9. Steve has spoken in 15 countries and trained over 45,000 speakers. I don't know how a person can do that much.
That's a lot.
Coaches and business owners on how to position themselves as an authority.
He is an overachiever, and with that, Steve, welcome to the show. We are so happy to have you here. So, first, tell us, how did you get from TV and radio to be a sales trainer?
And I get from, well, the story before all that was I actually never meant to get into business. As you read there, I was a professional track sprinter training for the Olympics, but I broke my back, and you can't run real fast with a bad back. So through my rehab, I actually fell in love with the fitness industry, and I thought I could do this, and I could do it different, and I could do it better. So, yeah, a brash young kid, I opened up my club, and then I had to learn things called sales and marketing. You can't just build something and it will come. So within the first couple of months, I bought my first ever sales and marketing training, and my life completely changed. I fell in love with sales. I fell in love with marketing, and I realized that there is one definition of sales that has stuck with me, and I hope everybody else takes this on board as well. Selling is professionally servicing other people's needs for a mutually beneficial gain. Now, we provided programs for virtually everybody. We had the decondition, we had the kids, we had the overweight, we had rehabilitation, we had virtually everybody that the main bodybuilding gyms didn't want to have. And I knew that when people knocked on our door, rang us on the phone, they actually had a need. We didn't go out in the streets and hit them over the head and drag them in. So when somebody came to us, and somebody really comes to us in our business, they put their hand up and say, we have a need. We actually think you could probably help us. And I told all of my team, it is your right, your duty, your obligation to do whatever it takes to get them started, because if they didn't get started that day, we would probably see them walking up the street 6 months later. Over here, we'd say 6 kilos, but probably 14 pounds heavier. And the only exercise they'd get would be to run across the road to avoid seeing us. And when people didn't buy from us, we felt that we let them down, because they came to us and said, please help us. And if we don't take the necessary steps, like everybody said, to learn what it is they need and professionally service their need, we felt that we had let them down. So without really knowing too much, I've been in sales all the way through, but I've avoided, like most people say, I don't want to be salesy. I don't want to be the salesperson. I, up until the last year or so, didn't want to be known as the sales trainer. So through the fitness industry, I produced and hosted TV shows, been on TV in 5 different continents. And it was through that, and we'll talk a bit later about the art and the science of selling. And now the art, ability to communicate with other people. How do we communicate what it is that we do? And the other thing that you may want to think about, that selling is just an exchange of value. The value that you're going to provide them and the value that they see that they get from working with you or buying with you. Most people feel that selling is trying to push the sale, but it is the art of communicating the value that you are going to deliver and collaborating with them to make sure that they understand that it is the true value, it's implementable value, and it's not just going to be the small box of value. They'll see that it is so much bigger than what they're about to invest in. So the transition from TV into selling is basically utilizing the skills from everywhere. And now virtual selling, I've fallen back into the TV background, helping people to be able to communicate through the lens. Because if we're doing our Zoom calls, And if we're doing the virtual selling, it's that little black hole called the camera that sucks the personality out of you. And unfortunately, some of the science is your perceived lack of camera confidence seen as lack of product confidence. So you could have the best product, you could be the best person in the world, but if you're not communicating through the lens, it's all going to fall apart. So it's that art and science and utilizing some of the TV work to help people get that confidence so they can actually communicate the true value of what it is. So that's a long way to get back to that one.
That was a great backstory.
It was.
Now, I totally can see how you've been so successful because the way that you view sales is entirely different than the way a lot of people view sales, I think. So Steve, I'm excited to learn more about the art and science of virtual selling. We won't be able to go through the whole guide, but can you start with a little bit about why selling is an art and a science? And you touched on it a little bit, but can you expand on that a little bit more?
Yeah, look, I really love the comments that everybody was saying, getting themselves ready for the sales call. And that's crucial, getting your mindset right, getting the place of service and collaborating. And very quickly, one of the best things is to turn that around and is how do we get them ready? How do we get them excited to get on a call, just salivating, wanting to have that call with you? And we talk about, I think we're going to talk about it a little bit later, but we'll talk about it now, the buying energy. Now, there's a process where people go through. Typically, there's a connection. We find out each other. They book them in for that dreaded discovery call. And very quickly, talking about science, if you title your call a discovery call or a strategy call, you're reducing buying energy by 37% because everybody knows it's a sales call. Okay, book in for a discovery call and let me sell to you. Basically, that's what they're hearing. So their buying energy goes down, but their buying resistance goes up before they even take the call. 3 steps that I'm going to give you right now. The first step is be the prize. Now, be the prize is all about being seen as a leader and an authority, and it's somebody that they aspire to talk to, not just another, what I call the brown box syndrome. Brown box is if you are titled by the same as everybody else, a coach, a consultant, a trainer, an IT professional, a web developer. You are a brown box. You're sitting on the shelf the same as everybody else, and you are judged the same as everybody else. And basically, that ends up being price. So if you can elevate yourself from an a coach, a consultant, to I am the creator of this program, the creator of this system. I'm the publisher of this book. I'm the publisher of this guide. I don't write books anymore. I write back pocket guides. I'm going to give you one at the end of this, the back pocket guide. So if all I was is Steve is the author of the Back Pocket Guide to the Art and Science of Virtual Selling, I go up a level, and the buying energy for somebody to talk to me is different than, Steve's a sales coach. So that jumps the first level of buying energy. Then there's cultivate. Now that is 3 things: water, fertilize, and prune. Now you send them some information, and it's not just I have a 10 email sequence type of thing. Send them some information that gets to know you, a bit of videos, and some of the things that people do in my back pocket guides. They will watch a couple of videos. The great thing is they can think, oh, this guy is absolutely brilliant. I've got to talk to him. I'm excited. And he's a cool guy. I want to talk to him. Or that guy's a dead set idiot and I don't want to talk to him. Either way, that's fantastic because guess what? I only get to talk to the people who want to really talk to me and not the ones that are just lukewarm. There's nothing worse than getting on a call with somebody who is lukewarm. You want to get them excited. So you want the buying energy to go up. There's one little tip I'll share with you. Normally, when somebody books in for a call, and what we've got Roy here, I can see Roy on the screen and say Roy's booked in for a call with me, and I've seen it come through. Jump in front of my webcam or my phone down at the beach, and it'll be, Hey, Roy, saw you book in for a call on Thursday. Can't wait to have a chat. Had a look at your website, had a look at your LinkedIn profile. Man, I've got some great ideas I can't wait to share with you. See you Thursday. Click, love and kisses, Steve. Guess what? 30 seconds takes me less than 2 minutes to send. Now, give me a wave, Roy. Do you think that would get your buying energy up just a little bit if you got that type of message? It would say, wow, this guy's got some things for me. I'm looking forward to that call. Now, the key is increase the buying energy, get them excited, self select, and that is the key to having people really want to talk to you. And a lot of the about me that you normally have building rapport, which is what sales trainers teach you at the beginning of the call, that's all done. And guess what? One of the first topics is, hey, Steve, I got that video. Man, that was pretty cool. Love it. Let's chat. Hey, I watched the videos in the stuff you sent. This is what I think we should talk about. And that really makes a difference, increasing the buying energy before you get on the call. You do your stuff, but it's more important to have them excited to talk to you than anything else.
And you pointed out that this is a skill or craft, and with any skill or craft, you can get better with practice. And when you're measuring results and creating a system, you can continually improve the process. And I think that is an important thing to remember in the sales part of it. But you were really diving into the client's journey. Can you tell us a little bit more about how the client's journey takes place in your guide?
And I'll give you a quick example of this. And one of the things that people don't follow through, don't rate, and don't think about is the buying energy on that journey. Now, we talk about being sales is emotional. Well, we buy an emotion, but we anchor it with logic. And when we talk about the blueprint really shortly, you'll see how we can entwine that all together. I had a client that came to me and they said, Steve, we need some training with our sales team. They're not getting great results. Now, they were a large coaching organization. They would put out some good ads. People would ring in to get an appointment. They would talk to the appointment setter who was paid on how many appointments they got. And they would book appointments for the salespeople. Now, the salespeople were getting average, lukewarm, not so much unmotivated, but their buying energy was just average. They knew they were getting on a discovery call, a sales call. So what we did, we went back to the appointment setters, tweaked them a little bit, and instead of just how many appointments, what was the rating of the energy, the excitement level, getting off that call to go to the sales call? Now, we just said everybody needs to rate themselves 1 to 5, how excited the person was looking forward to the next call. And we showed them, now, look, we're going to go through a system. We've got a blueprint, and there's a motive sales pendulum that I teach as well. What that did within the first week, that translated to an extra $200,000 in sales because the sales trainers, the salespeople, were actually getting excited people, not almost reluctant people. And it was just that tweak of how do we create an experience for the people? Because you guys are professionals. You're not only selling your services, but you're actually selling you and the personality, and do actually want to spend time with this person. And they're all the happy hormones, the endorphins, the oxytocins, the dopamines. The science is how can I create that addictive personality? Now, I bet you've all got that person that's either in a sitcom or a serial or somebody that you just really love watching. That person really makes you feel good. That's what you need to be to your people. I love spending time with this person. They deliver great results, and I can't wait to get back. That can happen in your sales journey is I can't wait to get back to that person. And if you think about the buying energy through that and how can I create an experience, then your sales conversations are going to be so much more enjoyable and exciting talking to excited people. Okay, I'll give you one tip before we move on, because I know we've got a real good question coming up. what most people do is they do the let's build rapport, please tell me what trouble you're having in your business, and then try and solve it. The question that when you've done the thing right is, and we've got Sarah. Um, hey, Sarah, from what you've seen so far, because they've seen and watched videos, what is it that you think I could best help you with? And what sort of an impact would that make on you and or your business? Instead of saying, please tell me what's going wrong, please tell me how the heck you think I'm going to help you. And when you turn that around, you let them talk for the next 5-10 minutes on all the great things that they think that you can help them with, and say, yeah, you're right, we can work together on that, and we will provide some great solutions. So that's the journey.
That's all you.
That's all
Oh,
me.
we're here. Yep.
That was a lot of good information. I do like the part where you're talking about be the person that they enjoy being around instead of delivering the boring information, the logic, being in the, what you said, was it the brown box? That
Yes.
resonates a lot with what coaches say and what they talk about being yourself or authentic. And so outside of prayer and meditation, which we kind of already talked about a little bit, but how else can we increase our buying energy?
The big thing is, and I think you touched on it a little there, is actually give a bit of you and how you will work with them. And the language is what we will do together and what you will get from working with us. Because a lot of people in the process leading up to the conversation is, here's some more information about me. And I think we're going to get onto it, but I'm I'm a sprinter. I go fast and I always jump ahead. So I'm going to do it anyway. There are 3 levels of influence when you're in selling. There's the imposed influence. And that's what most people are taught to do. I'm going to impose knowledge on you. I'm going to impose my influence on you to get you to buy. Now, that's the typical present and pitch that everybody's taught. We're going to present all this great information, hope they've got a lot of good information so they make a buying decision. The next level is collaborative influence. And that is when you actually sit and work together on a solution. You co-create. And the golden rule is when they're involved, they invest. And there's lots of neuroscience about writing on screens and all of the things that we teach on how you can collaborate more. The thing, particularly with Zoom, 83% of all people on Zoom calls are multitasking.
I believe
True,
it.
that's a fact. They've
agree.
done the studies. So if you're just doing a present, possibly having a conversation, the chances are that they're just watching a few slides and doing something else. When you're collaborating, asking, getting them involved, how would this, and then quantifying, then you're actually going to make a massive, massive difference. And the last one is self. And you'll get to a point in the conversation where they will see that the value is going to be so much greater than what they're going to believe that they will pay. Then they will get to a point and say, hey, Steve, this is fantastic. How do we get started? And when you can get to, which we got with most of our people, 60% are asking to buy because they've collaborated, they take ownership and say, I want what we have just created. That's a great way of the conversation. And that is collaborate and confirm. You collaborate, create, confirm, and it's like, yep, the next steps are. So increasing the buying energy by really involving them, and not just in a pseudo way, but really getting them to quantify the value that you're going to be delivering and annotating it in front of them, writing it in front of them so it all adds up through the eyeballs.
That is great information. And I know that you have a blueprint, but do you have an upcoming, and I think everybody should download the blueprint, and we'll put all of your information at theconnectshow.com/. Steve Bossman, and we'll have everybody direct to all of your links, your LinkedIn, to your blueprint, your guide. But do you have an upcoming event or program our audience can join for more training in addition to that blueprint?
Look, the link that you're going to be giving them is the actual back pocket guide to the art and science of virtual selling. It's very simple, and it includes the self-selling secrets in that as well. That's virtually a workshop in a download. It's a very simple PDF. There's some training videos in there. It talks about the blueprint, how to use the blueprint, takes the pressure off you selling, how to collaborate. So you can read it, watch the training videos. Look, there's a link in there if you want to grab a call to say, hey, Steve, how do I put this into my business? But also, you're going to be told of an up-and-coming event that I've got next year, which is some 5-day training. It's a coaching catapult. It's a really accelerated learning, half an hour a day plus implementation. And you will be able to implement everything and more that we spoke about today. So the first step is grab the back pocket guide. It takes get through, and then I will communicate with you and let you know what free event you're going to be able to get access to early next year.
That sounds like a great opportunity. And you said the 5-day, did you say, what was the cost of that?
$0.
That is even, I
Yep.
didn't want to say it. I'd be like, is that event free? And you're like, no. It's $10,000. What are you doing?
Well, if you want, if it makes you feel better, I'll charge you $10,000. I don't have a problem with that. But
it's worth $10,000.
Well, one little tweak. You saw that one little tweak of changing buying energy in a cycle that added $200,000 in 6 months. We had one guy who's a professional salespeople selling solar finance commercially. Been selling for 15 years, came and got his blueprint, learned how to sell from the blueprint. The first call was $500,000 a month. So depending on whether you're just starting out, whether you're at the top end of the tree, the sequence now, because of what we have to do, is the new way to be able to sell and really feel comfortable.
Thank you so much, Steve, for joining us this morning. We really
early
appreciate
morning.
it. Yes, I know it's the middle of the night for you, and we appreciate you doing this. You've given us
a little crackly in the voice. It is 3:30 a.m. here.
Yeah. Thank you so much for doing that and joining us from tomorrow, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's looking good for you guys.
Great.
Thank you so much. And with that, we are going to hear from Kim about the networking report before we bring on our next guest. And thank you so much, Steve, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, guys. See you real soon. Bye.